Ever since the release of Star Wars The Last Jedi by writer and director Rian Johnson, a lot of fans have had a lot of issues with the way the sequel trilogy has been going so far. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, if you guys enjoyed The Last Jedi, that is perfectly fine and okay and all, but I do know that a lot of people out there had quite a number of issues with this movie, including myself, looking at what they did with the character of Luke and, the Canto Bight sequences and everything that has to do with the story elements within the film itself. I feel like that it wasn't a movie that felt like it was a sequel to The Force Awakens in a sense, more around the lines of a movie on its own. Now, looking past all of this, a lot of people have been wondering more about Star Wars Episode 9 and what's going on with writer and director J.J. Abrams. Now, we do know that Disney is treating this movie as a course correction technique. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. Now, what's really intriguing is that J.J. Abrams actually plans to fix many of the problems within Star Wars The Last Jedi in Star Wars Episode 9. This will have all to do with Rey's identity, the character of Luke Skywalker, and even certain elements of Kylo Ren and other characters out there alike. Now, we do know that Rose is coming back into play in Episode 9. I know that she's not a likable character in The Last Jedi, no offense to actress Kelly Marie Tran, but I myself did not enjoy the character of Rose. Now, apparently, Rose coming back in Episode 9, J.J. Abrams will be treating that character in a totally different way, to the point where the character will feel totally separate from Star Wars Episode 8. Now, looking at what Rian Johnson, did with The Last Jedi, I know that it split the fan base, as we can see everything that has happened to the Star Wars community. We do know that it also affected the Solo: A Star Wars Story box office results, which then hence actually made Disney and Lucasfilm to come to the decision of pretty much halting all of the story films that were actually in development, like the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, the Boba Fett film. Even Kathleen Kennedy confirmed that the Boba Fett movie is no longer in development and that they are primarily focusing on The Mandalorian. So with Star Wars Episode 9, with J.J. Abrams fixing a lot of the issues within The Last Jedi and his plan being to save the Star Wars sequel trilogy, can it really be done without bringing Luke Skywalker back to life or doing something astronomical in a Star Wars film that would be so unpredictable and unexpected? Now, I don't know what he's going to do specifically in this movie that will fix problems in The Last Jedi. And by the way, guys, if you think that there are no problems in that movie, that is perfectly fine and okay and all. I do know that some of you guys out there really love the film and enjoy it, but I'm just saying here that when we look at a lot of the fans out there that are very upset with the way things are going and how Disney and Lucasfilm are looking at this movie as a course correction technique because of the box office results of the Han Solo film, we do know that there is a lot going on with this movie. J.J. Abrams really does have a lot of stress on his shoulders. No doubt at all. I mean, I can't even imagine, what a director and a writer such as J.J. is going through after, picking up a movie coming right after Star Wars The Last Jedi. So we do know that this movie is going to be action-packed. It's going to be a war to end all wars. It'll have the most characters and planets out of every single Star Wars film to date. And with that being said, this movie really does have a lot going for it. It's going to be very crowded. And that's the one big concern about this film, is if it's going to be too crowded. We do know that J.J. Abrams has introduced a total of 8 new characters in this movie. However, my theory is that a lot of those characters will be grouped together in one single shot and or scene, to the point where they can save a lot of screen time for the actual real characters that we should be focusing on, like Kylo Ren, Rey, you name it, Luke Skywalker, Lando, Leia, all of the main characters, Finn, Poe Dameron, all the characters that were introduced in The Force Awakens, basically. So with that being said, guys, what do you think about J.J. Abrams? Is there any chance at him actually redeeming the sequel trilogy? I honestly think that there is a great chance, because if you look at the prequels, we've seen a great example of this. Now, Of course, The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, not everybody's favorite movie, or movies, right? But if you look at Revenge of the Sith, it was an amazing movie in my opinion. It was probably the best prequel trilogy movie, without a doubt, and it really stood out from the past two films within that trilogy, and it kind of, changed our look on how everything happened within the past two films. So it's actually said that we're going to get a similar situation here, where Episode 9 really is going to be a very original film, while also carrying certain elements of Return of the Jedi into it, which is always to be expected when it comes to parallels and whatnot, and that this movie will stand on its own and will actually change our perception on the past two movies, The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, and even have a slight effect on the prequels and the originals. So that's also another big risk for Disney and Lucasfilm on whether or not that's a good or a bad thing. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.